Good evening, everyone. Guys, we are being gaslit. So if you've not looked and watched what's happening in the mainstream media right now, we are literally being gaslit. I mean, the definition of gaslighting is literally what we're having done to us right now. I mean, from the taxes, from the prison sentencing, from the two-tier system, and all the time, the government are telling us that we're wrong, that this is not happening. I mean, there's so many instances. I mean, Taylor Swift, for example, we're told that Taylor Swift generated £1 billion for the local economy. Guys, it's absurd. It's obscene. She didn't generate 1 penny of income for that local economy. What she did was steal money from, the headline there with Taylor Swift, guys, if you like Taylor Swift or not, this is not about Taylor Swift. This is about being gaslit. The headline should read, Taylor Swift gets police escort to steal money off vulnerable people in the United Kingdom, then takes her helicopter and waves goodbye. And everybody is sat there going, thank you, Taylor, for taking our money. Thank you. Come back again soon. Guys, it's absolutely absurd. The ineptness of the government to say that the Taylor Swift concert generated, money for that local economy. Guys, the only way you generate money for an economy is to bring it in from another country. No other. Forget about it, all right? That is the only way you generate money. Now, if Taylor Swift parachuted in with $1 billion, £1 billion, and said, here, y'all, here's your money, I would have gone with that, guys. I would have 100% gone with it and said, all right, yeah, Taylor Swift, she did bring in £1 billion, £1 billion, but she didn't. She put a concert on, all right? So what does that mean? It means that where did this money come from? It came from me, people like me and you, whose kids wanted to go and see the Taylor Swift concert. So they have to fork out money that they probably can't afford to go and buy a ticket for a Taylor Swift concert. Then they go there. They're not allowed food and water in there because of whatever reasons, security. Then they have to pay £13 for a burger, £4 for a bottle of water. Well, that's generating money, isn't it? There's another word for this, guys. It's called theft. And all this money that's generated, where's that money coming from? It's coming from the local economy. It's absolutely absurd. So that money now that people could have been spending on their families, on their life, bettering their position, they've actually given that to Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's now put that in her bank account, got on her helicopter and said, thank y'all, I'll see y'all later. And she's gone out of there. Guys, it's absolutely absurd. We are being gaslit. And when the politicians come up and they say, oh, we gave her a full, what's it called? Blues and Twos escort because she's generated so much money for the British economy. Guys, where did that money come from in the first place? Where that money that she generated, where did it come from? It came from us. It came from people who went to see that concert. Guys, she's not generated a penny. And do we think that Taylor Swift did that for free? Did she do that for free? No, of course she didn't do that for free. Absolutely not. She didn't do that for free. Did she make money out of it? Absolutely. Did her, her entourage, did her, her set designers, her people around her, did they make money? Absolutely. And what have they done with that money? Have they kept it in the British economy? Have they kept it in the local economy? Have they invested it back in the local economy? Have they done something for local schools, churches, hospitals, care homes in that local economy? No, they put that in their bank accounts and they went back to America. So the headline here could be Taylor Swift. And guys, I don't mean a lot of people that go to these Taylor Swift concerts probably shouldn't be going to them anyway because, they're very expensive and they do this because, they think that that's what people need. They think that that's what you should be doing. You should be going to a Taylor Swift concert and paying X amount of pounds for a ticket, £13 for a burger, £4 for a bottle of water. And then you come home and you can't afford to put, guys, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And, for those of you who do go to these concerts, Did you really have that much of a better time at the concert? Did you really have a good time queuing up? Did you really have a good time queuing up for the toilets? Did you really have a good time queuing up for a burger that was overpriced and it was a rubbish burger, let's face it. When you go to these places, they know they're going to get you for a one-time gig, so they're going to maximize profits. It's what they have to do. So they give you the worst burger for the maximum price. And that's how they do it, to maximize their margins. And the burger company will be saying, right, okay, we've got to pay a little bit of money to Taylor Swift. Then they give Taylor Swift a bit of money. She's saying, thanks, y'all. I'll do a little shaking on my stage. And everybody's going, woo, go Taylor. And then these people will be going home and they'll be, they'll have no money. And then for the next couple of weeks, they'll be absolutely skint. Guys, stop going to these concerts, all right? It's a waste of money. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of effort. Did you really have a better time? Was the sound quality, was it that much better than watching it at home on the computer? Was the sound quality that much better that you spent all that money, maybe a night in a hotel? Where's this money going? When we've generated X amount of pounds for a hotel chain. Who's that hotel chain? Is it a large international hotel chain? Yes. Okay, guess what? That money's going overseas as well. Guys, honestly, we are literally being gaslit all the time. And it's unbelievable how naive the mainstream reporters are. How naive the politicians are when people tell them these things. Oh, actually, we created, we generated. Oh, hang on a minute. What do you mean generated? Well, the local economy, that local economy in these locations, they had a lot of money come in. Okay, where did that money come from? Well, people going to where did they go to concerts from? Well, they travel from all over the country. So you've not actually generated anything, have you? You've just taken money out of the country. Guys, the only way to generate wealth for a country is to get money from another country into our country. That's it. That is it. How many times have I come on this channel and said the foreign secretary's job is to get money for this country? That's it. And, we're raising taxes and we're taxing and taxing and taxing and taxing, thinking it's going to raise money. It's not. It's going to lower living standards. It's going to force people, potentially people like myself, people, who've got a lot more money than me, who can move out of the country really easy and just say, oh, taxes. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. I've paid enough tax for long enough. I mean, I was talking to my friend about this new capital gains tax, and guys, it was just wild. Anyway, sorry. I meant this video to be a video on this sentencing of this girl that's been... Sorry, guys. I just totally ranted about Taylor Swift there for our girls love Taylor Swift, but, you see what I mean, guys? Please, if you disagree with what I've just said, please let me know in the comments. If you think that these concerts do generate money, please tell me how they generate money and tell me where that money comes from. Because if an overseas act comes to the UK, they will get paid and they will take their money and they will go home. That means they're taking net resources out of the UK economy. That's simple economics, guys. All right. I don't see any other explanation for that. Please, if I've missed something, please someone tell me in the comments. But yeah, sorry, I wanted to talk about this this girl who's been sentenced. Hang on, let me find it. Lucy Connolly. So she's been sentenced to 31 months in prison for an incite. Well, let me share this screen. So this is from the official website. This is the official transcript. I'll put the link in the description to this, guys. Where are we? So this is the official transcript. This is open source, guys. Anyone can find this. I will put the link in the description. Anyway, this is what it's all about here, guys. This bit here, this mass. So this is what she said. This bit here. This is, from this article. This is what's sent her to prison. There are other things, but I think this is the main thing that sent her to prison. I will read it, but I'll leave out keywords. So this is what she's put at 8:30 on the 29th of July, 8:30 p.m. on the 29th of July. And then I want to contextualize this and give you the understanding of this, and I'll give you another example. So she's put on a Twitter or X account, mass deportations now, set fire to all the something hotels full of the something for all I care. While you're at it, take the treacherous government and politicians with them. Now, I think she's thinking that government and politicians are different things. I'm assuming she could have articulated that better. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing I want to focus on. I feel physically sick knowing what these families will now have to endure. So this lady, this lady, she actually lost a young child herself. This Lucy Connolly, she lost a young child herself. Now, you can only imagine what she was feeling at this time. You can only imagine what was going, and obviously this is in response to the stabbings of those 3 girls. And guys, I've still not been able to do a video on that because for me it's still pretty, our girls are of that age and they like doing those things. And, for us, it's just so, and like I think it was with a lot of people in the United Kingdom at that time, it was just so brutal and barbaric and disgusting and horrific. And yeah, so you can imagine how this girl's feeling at this time. You can imagine. And the post was only online. It was only active for I think 3.5 hours or something. I mean, it's in the transcript and I'll share the transcript below, guys. So please read the transcript below. But that's what they're holding. Now, there's not been much there has been a little bit of consideration in the from what I understand from the judge of the transcript of this, but I don't feel people are understanding the true nature of how people feel in this country right now, and we're being gaslit into believing that, if you feel a certain way, you're the minority. Guys, all you need to do is talk to people on the street and ask them how they feel. And then we've got this guy as well, this guy Ricky Jones. Remember the guy Ricky Jones who came and he said we need to something people's throats, and did he say throw them in the river? I can't remember, or something. Get rid of them. That was it. Get rid of them. And this guy's not being charged, or has he been charged? No, sorry. This guy's waiting for a trial. He's pleaded. As I understand it, he's pleaded not guilty. Yeah, he's pleaded not guilty to the offence. So then they're going to have a trial. So this thing takes longer. Now, this girl got 30. I mean, this girl's got a young child at home. She's got 31 months to do in prison. Now, 31 months for a post. And you've got to understand her mental state at that time. I think a lot of people in the country will have been feeling that. I know I was trying to figure out what was, it was just wild times. I mean, you can't imagine those little girls guys, I genuinely can't even talk about it. Even now I feel myself becoming really emotional. But you've got to understand that how people felt at that time. And all the government, and guys, remember, I've said this from day one, week one. All Keir Starmer's government have done, they have just welded a heavy lid on a simmering pot. Because the more we see mass migration, the more we see these boats turn up, the more we see, the more nobody's taking notice of people who have got genuine concerns, the more this pan is going to boil. And all this heavy lid has done is it stopped it steaming. It stopped that simmer coming out and being seen. The underlying problem's still there. The underlying problem's still there among these people. I was watching an article, I can't remember what it was on. It was said that the government have found that there's no evidence that the far right organized these riots and these protests. Now, that should be absolutely terrifying for the government. It should be absolutely terrifying, because in the government, if this is true, and I don't know if, obviously I've not seen these reports, I'm just telling you guys what I've seen on the mainstream. But if the government have had a report that says, no, there was no far right orchestrator, there was no far right linchpin, pushing this agenda, that should absolutely terrify the government. Why? because it means that that is genuinely how people feel. And it means, and you would like to think that the government with a sense of logic would step back and say, what? There's no far right. No. There's no mastermind behind it. There's not Farage there with a secret WhatsApp group telling people what to do. You know, there's no far right orchestrator. This is genuinely how people feel. And then if you as a politician, you think, oh, wow, oh, goodness, I've got that. Oh, God, I've got that so wrong. I actually thought that people wanted more migration. They wanted, you know, they wanted more migration, less school places, less NHS places, less nurses, doctors per capita. I thought that's what they wanted. No, that's not actually what they wanted, Minister. They actually want the way things were in the 90s. Oh, right, okay. So I think the government, I hope the government, now they understand that there's no far right involvement in these, well, as the report says, that there's no far right involvement in these riots. I hope that the government can take some self-reflection, because successful people self-reflect. They do. I was talking to my friend. I said, you know, successful people are honest with themselves. They are. You know, they'll look at the mirror. They'll think, right, you know what? My this and this, I'm rubbish at it. I need to do better. I genuinely need to do better. Right, you know what? I'm not in the best position here. I need more money. Everybody needs more money. I need to be fitter. I'm going to go to the gym and get fitter. Successful people are always honest about their situations. Unsuccessful people, they lie about their situation. They say, oh yeah, you know what? I might be fat, but actually I'm normal. That's normal. So guess what? They just get bigger, you know. And poor people, they say, oh, I'm not poor. I get to, you know, I get to pay my bills. I get to pay my bills every week, and, you know, I've got food on the table. I'm not poor. Guys, most people in the United Kingdom are poor. We are not a rich country. You know, you go to some places like, where's the ones? It's just the cost of everything here in the United Kingdom is absolutely ridiculous. Like when I go to Ukraine and I travel through Poland, like, Poland it's a beautiful country, Poland, you know. And again, you know, I've not been to all the outskirts of Poland. I've been to, you know, I've spent time in Krakow, Rzeszów, and Przemysl. I think I may be butchering that last word, or Przemysl or something. It's one of the border towns, you know, and it's lovely. Everything's just a lot cheaper. There's more soul in those parts of the world. You know, you go out on the streets you go to the shopping centres in the United Kingdom, and what have you got? You've got like those like, I think if you were in America, you would call them, you would kind of class it as a super strip mall, where you've got, like, let's think of them. You'll have a B&M, you'll have a Home Bargains, you will have, you know, maybe a food shop like, I don't know, Morrison's or something. You will have a B&Q, you'll have, you know what I'm talking about, a KFC. You know, you'll have those sort of areas that have Wilco's, and Asda Living, you know, those sort of like malls. That's literally what you have in the United Kingdom now. We literally just have a series of these large corporations who set up selling exactly the same thing all over the place. It's absolutely wild. You go to places in Eastern Europe, you know, you've got these beautiful cities, you've got these beautiful towns with absolutely beautiful architecture. I mean, I think the first thing I noticed when I first moved out into Ukraine in 2014, August 2014. The first thing I was just gobsmacked about the architecture and how beautiful Kiev is. I mean, you've got this like you've got this Baroque architecture. Well, you have it actually. You've got neo-Baroque architecture with beautiful archways and beautiful buildings and beautiful sculptures. And then, you know, you come back to the UK and what have you got? B&M Home Bargains and a load. It's just ridiculous, you know. And the price of everything is just so much. It's just so much cheaper. Do you get a worse service? No, you get a better service because people are not working for these big corporations. You know, you get people working for like a shop. So when you're working for a shop, if you've got one singular restaurant, those staff in that restaurant, they want you to come back because the more custom they get, the more they get paid, the more work they've got, the more they can feed their families. That's capitalism. You know, Here in the UK, you go to like where, like I don't know. Let me do like what's the one? You know, the Carvery one where you get the breakfast. I can't remember what it's called, but Toby Carvery. You go to like Toby Carvery or something. Those people in Toby Carvery will get the same pay whether they're really nice to you or whether they treat you like DICKS. So guess what? They go with the lowest option. They don't put that extra mile in. They don't put that extra effort in. Why? Because they're not going to get paid any extra. It doesn't really matter. You're going to go there because you don't really have any other choice. But, you know, you go to these places in Eastern Europe, you know, they want you to come in. People, you know, I'm really selling myself, aren't I, to move out to Kiev. Anyway, guys, that was the gist of this video, guys. I know I ranted a little bit about Taylor Swift, but I wanted to talk about, we are literally being gaslit at the moment. You know, British society, British population, we are being gaslit. We have a political class. I would like to be able to sit down with them and ask them just some basic questions. I mean, I know I spoke about the Taylor Swift, but I'd like to just ask this Rachel Reeves woman, what she actually means when she says there was £1 billion generated through the Taylor Swift concert. What does that mean? Where was that generated from? You know, because generated are really, it's kind of an opaque, it's kind of a non-word. What does generated mean? What, you conjured it up, you invented it, you stole it, you found it, you pulled it from Mars? What does it mean, generated? So that, you know, I'd just like to ask her, what do you mean by generated? Guys, the only way that Britain gets more money and pulls ourselves out of poverty is with getting money from other countries. And that means either providing goods to another country, services to another country, taking resources from another country and selling them to a third country. That's the only way it happens. Taxing people does not generate wealth ever. It never has done. And, you know, this 63... I know I've spoke about this before, but I think I'm just going to say this now because you need to understand the difference between somebody investing, claiming that they're going to invest £63 billion and getting money from another country. Inward investment into the United Kingdom is not. What does the word investment mean? It means you're giving something because you want something back. That's not what we want. We want growth. We don't want investment. We want internal growth. How do you do this? You invest in schools. You invest in children. You invest in the working class people of this country who have been left behind, who have been forgotten about, who nobody cares about. Oh, you know, please come and invest. Guys, the word investment means you want something back, all right? We can't give them anything back. We've got a £22 billion black hole. I totally forgot where I was going. Where was I going? Come on, somebody help me out. It's not live. Nobody can. So, yeah. So when these people are saying they're going to invest £63 billion, it's not going to happen, guys. Not going to happen. Never going to happen. I doubt we will even see a penny of that. But when they do, let's say somebody invests £1 million or whatever, where does that money get invested into? That gets machinery. All right, fair enough. Where's that machinery come from? Are they buying it from the UK? Who knows? Maybe it's specific machinery. It can't be bought in the UK. It can't be made in the UK for whatever reason. So whatever investment's made in the UK, and then once that £1 million being invested, guess what? They're going to want a return on their investment. And guys, how many investors out there do you know who want less money than their initial investment? How many? You know, if you went on Dragon's Den and you said, Duncan, I've got this awesome idea, right? You give me £1 million. I keep your £1 million and I give you £10 back. It'd say, your business model is preposterous. And for that reason, I'm out. So, like, it's preposterous to even think that this is not going to happen. So these 63 billion inward investments, how much money is going to be extracted from the UK with these inward investments? Think about it, guys. International companies, guess what? The clue's in the name. International companies, they're investing in the United Kingdom because they want a return on their profit. Now's the time to invest in the United Kingdom. Then they put their initial $1 million in. Then over the space of 5 years, they take out 20 million. Where does that 20 million go? Does it go back into the local economy? No. Does it go back into local schools? No. Does it go back into local infrastructure? No. Where does it go? It sits in an offshore account somewhere, well away from you, well away from me, well away from our families. You know, it's ridiculous. The way to do this, guys, we need to grow this organically, and we need to invest in our schools. We need to invest in our children. Guys, let me just hold this thought a minute, because I did have something I was going to talk about, and I've got it up now. Let me do this real quick. How do I do this? Right, I can't. Right, so I can't share this, guys. Let me do this real quick. So international aid. So in the UK, I think we have 331 boroughs and districts in the United Kingdom. International aid in, right, I'll just read you this, guys. Headline figures. In 2023, the UK provided 15.4 billion of official development assistance. So this is overseas, overseas aid. That's in 2023. I'll share this. I'll share this. It's a PDF, guys. I'm not sure if I can share PDFs in the link to this description, but I'll certainly share a link where you. Oh no, I can't. I'll figure it out, guys. If I can't do it, it's UK. The document is called Foreign Commonwealth Development Office Statistics on International Development Provisional UK Aid Spending 2023. If you want to go and search it, that's the document. So 2023, obviously they haven't got numbers for 2024 yet. In 2023, we provided 15 billion of official development assistance. Guys, 15 billion. We, as I understand it from this document here, guys, that went to somewhere else. And what did we get back? Who knows? Who knows? Maybe some people came. I genuinely don't know what we got that. But I think there's 331 boroughs and districts in the United Kingdom. So 300, I think it's 331. It may be slightly off that, but just for that 0.4 of a bit, just for that 0.4 of a billion, you could give each one of those, of those local councils. You could say to your local council, right, guys, listen, we're going to try something here, and it might sound weird. It might sound crazy. We are going to give you £1 million each. That comes off the foreign, rather than give that to a foreign country somewhere else that we get nothing back in return, we're going to give each one of our local councils a budget of £1 million. And they are then, that council, they're going to put a call out to people who are leaving school, to school leavers at 16 or 18. I'm not sure which one of these it'd be. We're going to say, right, guys, I want a business plan from you guys, and in this council, I've got £1 million, and I will fund some of your projects. I will start your business with this money. But as a preface of this, if you are successful, if you start making money, guess what? You've got to stay in this region. Guys, in the space of 5-10 years, you're going to start to grow the economy organically. You're going to start to grow the economy internally. We don't need investment. We need to invest in our own people, in our own boys, in our own white working class boys who are just being failed by everyone. That's how you build the economy. Overseas investment, it's what they should be calling it, is overseas wealth extraction. Because when there's no more money in the system and nobody's got jobs and they have to raise taxes again, and they're saying, well, where's all the money gone? I don't know. Where's it all gone? Right, yeah, well, we had 63 billion of overseas investment. Okay, how much money have they taken out of the country? Guys, it's absurd. People, I really do, when I look at things on the TV, I look at these politicians, honestly, I look at them, I think, do you have any idea about these policies that you're making? Like, where do you get them from? Where? Because we don't need overseas investment. I've been all the war zones in the last 25 years on the planet. But I've not been to the Israeli one. I got offered to go out there with BBC, but I was like, no, I'm good. I've been to all these conflict zones, and what I found, and lots of these large corporations, almost always at the top, just one down from the top, you get a British person who's calling the shots. They're just one step back from the top, They're calling the shots. They're advising. They're holding everything together. They're kind of, British people are kind of like the Gandalfs, you know, who just hold everything together and bring everything together and make sure everything runs smooth. And they're the type, and we're not investing in our people. We're asking for overseas investment in what? What are they going to invest in? Costa Coffee, Starbucks, what, McDonald's, and then that money, where does it go, guys? Because if it's overseas investment, the revenue generated from that investment will go overseas. It's absurd. It's ridiculous. And I can't believe people can't see this. Like I always say, guys, you know, David Lammy's main role, in my opinion, his only role should be David Lammy's only role should be to get money from other countries and bring it to this country. But it looks like when somebody was telling him what his job was, he got it mixed up, because he was probably just gone over from Velcro on his shoelaces and he was doing his laces, and he's like, what? He's like, yeah, no, David. What did he say? And he's like, your job is to get money out of this country and give it to other countries. Yeah, got that. You know, no, that's not his job. Guys, anyway, I think I've ranted for far too long. Anyway, guys, jokes of this video, you know, we are being gaslit. We need to understand what's happening. We need to hold people to account. And the people that are supposed to be holding these politicians to account, they're not asking rudimental questions that anybody with a brain cell would ask. And the language they're using, people are just going, yeah, Taylor Swift should have got that escort because she brought £1 billion. Yeah, she generated £1 billion of money for the local economy. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. No, she didn't. What she did, I'm going to argue that there was a lot of people potentially who couldn't really afford to go to that Taylor Swift concert, but felt pressured into going to that Taylor Swift concert because those little girls wanted to go because the other girls at school were going, and they didn't want to feel left behind. And, you know, guys, honestly, it makes me ick inside. Anyway, guys, I keep saying I'm going to go. I keep ranting for an extra little bit of time. I am genuinely going to go now, guys. I'm going to Max a Grid. I'll get you guys another video later.